Hey, what is up guys? And today I'm bringing you my PvP Holy Paladin guide for 7.0.3. 7.1 is dropping soon, but nothing really big is changing, so I'm going to do this video now. I'm going to talk about your artifact traits, your talents, honor talents, cooldowns, and macros. I'll do a video later on with gameplay and commentary. I apologize for my voice. I am sick, so it sounds like I'm holding my nose when I talk, but I want to do the video anyways. Alright, so let's start with the artifact traits here. Now really all you need is this box here. It doesn't matter which direction you go, just make sure you get this box. A few of the important things here: Vindicator, every time you pop Avenging Wrath or Avenging Crusader, increase your critical healing by 25% for 10 seconds. Really big. And light saves. Your beacon of light target, if they drop below 50% health, your next heal, like Holy Light or Flash of Light on that target, will be increased by 100%, only a 30-second cooldown. And then shock treatment increases the critical strike damage and healing of Holy Shock by 24%. And I guess technically this is really nice too. Knight of the Silver Hand, every time you cast Judgement, you will take 10% less damage for 4 seconds. You need to be keeping this up as much as you can, because it'll help reduce the cooldown of your Hammer Justice from one of the talents, which we're going to talk about now. So talents. This is a talent setup I always use. Always, always, always. Bestow Faith. It's an instant cast heal, which is nice. Now it does take 5 seconds before it goes off, but it cannot be purged off or spell stolen, so really nice. Crusader's Might's just too situational. I don't ever worry about it. The 30 tier, Cavalier, 2 charges on Divine Steed. You couple that with your Blessing of Freedom, nobody's going to catch you. Really good ability. 45 tier, Fist of Justice. So if you keep your Judgment rolling off cooldown, you're always lowering the cooldown on your Hammer Justice. So ideally, the more Hammer Justices you can get out, the better you're doing. So really good little setup there. You could go Repentance if you want a little bit more CC, but I prefer just Fist of Justice. Now I only take Devotion Aura because the other two suck. Aura Sacrifice is terrible. Now if this would keep you out of polymorphs and saps and such because you're taking damage, that'd be great, but it doesn't. It does not break polymorphs. Aura Mastery is too crappy when it's only healing 3 people, when usually only like 1 or 2 people is actually being hurt. Devotion Aura is just really good, especially when you run off on your own trying to kite somebody away. This will make you take 20% less damage passively. Big. And when you pop your Devotion Aura, Aura Mastery, everybody takes 20% less damage. So really good ability. Now this tier here, in the 75 tier, everything's pretty much viable, but I always take Holy Avenger. Because when you think about it, Avenging Crusader has a 1 minute cooldown and it will last 30 seconds. So 30 seconds uptime, 30 seconds downtime. And then you also have a 1.5 minute cooldown as well. So if your Avenging Crusader is on cooldown, when somebody does pop their burst, you'll still be ready. You'll have a short cooldown that's ready. And it lasts 20 seconds. So not bad. Now the 90 tier, you have to go Sanctified Wrath. Increase the duration of Avenging Wrath and your Avenging Crusader by 50%, and makes the Holy Shock have a shorter cooldown. In the last tier, Beacon of Lightbringer is the only talent you want to take. Increase the healing and range of your Light of Dawn by 30%. That's huge. But also makes it where your Mastery heals people based on where your beacon is as well as you. So whoever they're closer to, they'll benefit from. Really important. Alright, the honor talents. In the first tier, I take Relentless because I'm a human, so I get every man for himself. Any 3 works. Absolutely. In the second tier, I just like to take Divine Favor, mostly because Vim and Vigor you can't really benefit from, because this is more so for high mobility classes like Resto Druids and Mistweaver Monks, where you can get away and keep yourself healed up above 80% health. Divine Favor is just so good. At 45-second cooldown, your next Holy Light and Flash of Light is increased by 100%, costs no mana, and cannot be interrupted. Super good ability. In the third tier, really anything's usable. I like Unbound Freedom when I'm versing mages and I have melee teammates that need help sticking on them. Cleanse Weak is nice too. Versing locks, you can get rid of all the dots on everybody. You gotta be careful though, Unstable Affliction can destroy you if you dispel enough of those. But this also helps dispel everybody of roots. Like if you have double melee DPS and they're all slowed or rooted, you can dispel them all with just 1 dispel. The next tier, I like all of them except Holy Ritual. I just don't think it's that good. Pure of Heart's great versus DKs, Hunters, and Assassin Rogues. Especially versus Hunters, because they get powerful poisons. 1 poison, which can be used on the healer, makes them do 30% less healing until they actually hardcast a non-instant cast spell. So this helps remove that. Or, I forgot the name of it, but anyways, they cast it on a melee DPS, and it makes them where they have a 50% reduced crit chance. So getting the stuff dispelled ASAP is important. So Pure of Heart is absolutely amazing in those situations. But Light's Grace is really good too. I really recommend you only use this whenever your Holy Shot crits and you get a reduced cast time on your Holy Light. Increase the Holy Light healing by 100%, and your Holy Light reduces all damage the target takes by 5%, stacks up 3 times. So a pretty good ability. These two is what I would use. In the third tier, really just take Darkness Before Dawn. Technically you could try to do some weird build where you maximize everything on your Holy Light. So you can take Light's Grace and make your Holy Light damage people around your person, but around your target. But Darkness Before Dawn is just too amazing. Powers up your Light of Dawn, stacks up 10 times, every stack increases it by 20%. So this can turn into a giant AoE heal if you're staying in the right position. Alright, this last tier. 90% of the time I would take Avenging Crusader. Makes it where your auto attack, Judgement, and Crusader Strike deal 40% more damage, and your damage heals your teammates for 200% of the amount that you do. And the cooldown's lowered as well. So this is a really good ability. 1 minute cooldown, as I said earlier, 30-second uptime, 30-second downtime. There are a few situations where I don't like it. From versing like Frost Mage, Rogue, Druid, that heavy CC comp, I like to not have Avenging Crusader because you have to run a melee range, which typically is out in the open, to actually benefit from it. And when you're starting to auto-attack somebody and hit them with Judgement and Crusader Strike, you're going to start getting CC'd. So you won't even benefit from it anyways. You're going to get like a big kidney, polymorph, cyclone combo. So instead, I'd rather take Blessed Hands, so I can get like 2 Blessings of Sacrifice. You know, Blessing of Sacrifice can help keep you out of polymorphs. You cast it on a teammate, they'll take damage, you'll take some of that damage so it breaks polymorph, and you get 2 charges of those, plus 2 freedoms. So most of the time I'll take Avenging Crusader, but the other times I will take Blessed Hands. Spreading the word is just not really good. Not good at all. Okay, so that's pretty much the honor talents I use. Cooldowns I talked about a little bit, but I'm going to go over them again. So we have Avenging Crusader, or Avenging Wrath. It's up to you. Most of the time you should take Avenging Crusader though. 1 minute cooldown. You pretty much just want to pop this, I wouldn't say right when the match starts, but as soon as you see the first offensive cooldown from the enemy team, even if it's a warrior battle cry, you know, where it's a 1 minute cooldown, pop this. This will keep you ahead of the game. You won't fall behind in healing. And all you gotta do is stall for another 30 seconds and you'll have it back up again. Maximize uptime on this thing. Now, if it is on cooldown, that's when you pop your Holy Avenger. This is your backup cooldown. Aura Mastery. Try not to pop your Aura Mastery with your other 2 offensive healing abilities. You want to try to keep this separate. Sometimes you're in situations where you can't, but it's a 3 minute cooldown. You really want to try to spread everything out as much as possible. Let's see here. Bubble. Sometimes you don't want to actually bubble, but you want to use your Blessing of Protection. If you're versing all melee DPS, like say Hunter Warrior, you can just use your Bob, Blessing of Protection. And so you can save your bubble, and you can just heal up. You can be interrupted through your Blessing of Protection by DKs and Demon Hunters. One side note, when you do bubble, remember you can spam Light of the Martyr. You won't take any damage. It's a good instant cast heal. I really recommend it when you pop your bubble. And Hammer Justice, you want to be using that on cooldown. Remember, we're trying to reduce it as much as possible, so be using your Judgement on cooldown as well. And be really, really careful when you cast your Tears Deliverance. Remember, this makes it where people around you get a nice hot and take increased healing from your Holy Light and Flash of Light. But it's a pretty lengthy cast time. I think it's 2 seconds without haste added in. So be careful when you cast it. That's it for cooldowns. Let me talk about macros really quick. I like to heal with mouseover macros. I'll post one in the description, but it makes it where you can hover over somebody's nameplate without having to target them. So you can target like enemy players, watch what they're doing while you're still healing people. It's completely up to you on your playstyle, but I love them. But I also have a macro for, where's that at? For Judgement, to just target a random nearby enemy and cast a Judgement on them, so I don't have to worry about tab targeting to an enemy or whatever. Just push this button and boom, hit them. I'll post that one in the description as well. And that's pretty much it. In terms of comps that you guys could run, in Legion, there's a lot of comps that are actually viable. But I really recommend, if you want an easy comp, try not to run double caster. At least as Holy Paladin, it's a little rough in terms of your mastery and your auras. Alright guys, thank you for watching.